Hello, people. How are you doing? Welcome back to the chapter 4 of data literacy program. Today, we will learn about big data. It's a buzzword, right, in today's world. Now, today, what we will understand is what is big data. The name itself says that it's big. The data is big, hence, it is big data. Now, how does the data looks like? How is it different from normal data that we use in our day-to-day life? That's where the concept of big data comes. Today in this small video we will understand what is big data and what are the basic characteristics of any big data set. Now, as the name suggests, big data. Now, while we start discussing about big data or we learn some basics of big data, we need to understand that when we are dealing with big data, we will never be able to do that with our traditional laptop or desktop. No, because the size of this data, this kind of data, is more than terabytes, petabytes. Our normal laptops will not be able to handle such volume of data. So we need a specific architecture and specific expert people to handle such kind of data. Now, while the detail will follow through, now in today's lesson, what we will discuss is the four V's of big data. Any big data that will be designed or that will be determined by four V's. What are those four V's? Four V's are volume, velocity, variety, and veracity. So let's start one by one. Now coming to volume of big data. Now volume of big data refers to the size of the data that needs to be analyzed or processed. As I was just saying, that this big data, they are in size of few terabytes or petabytes. So basically we will not be able to handle such sheer volume of data in our traditional laptop or desktop. This needs a specialized storage as well as processing technologies. Now big data are too large to process in any kind of our personal laptop or desktop. So for an example, the data of all credit card transactions of India in one day, or India, or for that matter of fact, America. This is the volume of data. So the first characteristic of big data is the volume of the data should not be limited to GB, because we struggle in our laptop to handle GB size of data, and this ranges between terabytes or petabytes. So this is volume of the data. So any big data will be of sheer volume, which needs specialized architecture to handle and storage. Now let's talk about velocity of a big data. So velocity of a big data is defined as like the speed at which the data gets generated. Now, depending on the source of the data, we will be able to understand like how quickly or how spontaneously the data gets generated. Because the fast the data gets generated, it needs a different processing technique altogether. So basically, the characteristic is this for most of the data. Like for example, I'll give you an example. Data that's coming out from Facebook or Twitter, say comments or posts, because in every comment, in every microsecond there's a new post, there's a new comment, there's a new photo, there's a new video. So again, it needs a different expertise processing technique. So that's called velocity of big data. All right guys, now let's talk about variety of big data. What does this word variety means? Variety means how different one data set is from other. Now, as the name suggests, it's big data and it can come from multiple sources. So it will be varied in nature. That's obvious. Now, if we want to classify this variety in three broad head, it will be structured, semi-structured, and unstructured. Now please understand, if you have three different sets of data, there's not a common mechanism you would be able to process. So basically, for semi-structured, structured, and unstructured, the processing techniques, algorithms will vary completely, right? So for example, how the data structure will be different. So in a particular city, say in the city of New York, uh, all the CCTV footages in the sense picture, video, audios in a given day. Because see, the data would be a combination of videos, audios, and picture. So they are varied, right? Now, how do we tag structure, semi-structure, and unstructured? It depends on the user. So this is basically variety of big data. All right, guys. So the last but not the least is veracity of big data. Now, veracity means quality of a data set. So in any data set, if it is of high veracity data means this will yield very meaningful insights, and that should be a gold mine for any kind of analysis or action plan. Wherein, if you have a data with low veracity, those data are mostly meaningless and misleading. And for any kind of data analysis, such low veracity data, which means data which has a very poor quality of data. Now, poor quality, when we say poor quality, it can be in terms of accuracy, it can be in terms of completeness as well. So then they will be termed as noise. So in fact, those data cannot be used for any kind of critical decision making. Now if you want to talk about some examples of high veracity data, the one of the very good example is the outcome or the data that is received from a medical trial of a certain population. That will be, because obviously that will be high veracity data from a completeness and accuracy standpoint. So basically, this is how a big data is classified, and these are the main characteristics of big data. So today, up this much only. In our next video or next chapter, we will study or we will learn what is our best data storage options available, depending on the kind of business that we do, or depending on our purpose from our safety or security standpoint. What are the best options available that we can use? Till then, stay safe. Goodbye. For any queries, do not forget to comment in the below comment box. Thank you so much.